Craft Club. This is a club, it is a craft club. It's not a dance club, it's a craft club. We're all coming with our crafts to craft club. Yeah. Craft club. We're all gonna craft at Kevin's craft club. You will craft and I will craft and we'll all craft because it's craft club. This is a craft club, you and me. We're gonna make things under a tree. And yes, my name is Kevin Yee. This is a craft club, craft club. That was a little bit of that, like, you know, rock lobster. Welcome to Craft Club. It's another episode of Craft Club, my low watch show, which I continue to do because I have fun and I see that there's a steady audience. And when there's a steady audience, I go, at least there's an audience. And y'all are the OGs. Y'all are committed, and I love it, and I thank you. What am I doing today? I am sitting in my apartment because they say every year this building does fire alarm tests, right? Because not only are there smoke detectors, there's also this like PA system. So every year they go, we're going to do our yearly thing, our sound check, our microphone sound check. So it might come onto the loudspeaker at this point. And are there loudspeakers being blasted into our apartments? Yes. Which is that weird? Yes. I think that's weird because sometimes they're like, test, just so you know, the elevator's closed now. You can't use the elevator for the next couple of hours. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? What do you want me to do, right? And so you can't do anything for the entire day. You're also, if you don't sit in your apartment and then let them in to check your thing at the allotted time, which to me is in the afternoon, but it's going to be going on all day. But if you don't sit in your apartment, you get fined. Like, I already don't have money. So I'm going to sit in this apartment all day and just hearing the fire alarm goes off. And I do get triggered by the smoke detector sound. It bothers me. Beep, like, shut up. It has never, listen, I say this and it's gonna one day save my life, but it's never saved my life thus far. I feel like smoke detectors are just battery detectors, like battery dying detectors. That's all they do. They're there and then they start beeping to alarm you that the battery is dying and that's it. I think I have a video on that somewhere. How are y'all? How is your week going? We're all having weeks. We're all having times. We're all just continuing to go. I actually am making hats for everyone for Christmas this year, including the people in the States, like my reps and stuff, my agents, etc. But the problem that we have come across is that there are tariffs now. And so my mother tried to send a package, a little gift worth nothing to the States. And she was like, basically she couldn't do it because there's this new system where you have to go through this American website and pay the customs. You have to upload a picture and then they decide how much it's actually worth. And then they charge you there and you can't mail it from Canada until that happens. And so my mother, you know, she's older and it's like, I'm just thinking about all of these technologically not advanced people because there is no way to do it manually. There's no way. And I was helping my mother, and as we were using the website, they were like, oh, there's a data breach and you can't actually use this password. Like, we were trying to sign in and make an account. And they were like, no, you can't use this password. There's a data breach. So we used another one and it didn't work. We used another one and it didn't work. And now I just was like, Mom, stop sending stuff to the States. So right now I'm just making hats and I don't even know, you know, like everything keeps changing every other day. So maybe by like next week, they're going to realize how stupid it is. I know that they just want to ruin Canadian businesses, like especially small businesses, because we're elbows down here in Canada. Our Prime Minister is not doing retaliatory tariffs in the same way. Like, I think there are some, but we're elbows down here. We're not elbows up anymore, we're elbows down. So there's no retaliatory tariff. So you can send Canadian stuff and it's fine. But if Canadians want to send American things, you have to go through the American system online. You cannot do it manually. And so all that to say, I may be just making these hats that I'm just going to donate to charity, which is actually one thing that I was thinking about. Because somebody offered me a table at a craft fair, and not to sell anything, because obviously I don't sell my stuff, but I was thinking of doing some kind of like charity event where we make scarves and hats for the unhoused. And I don't know how it would necessarily work, because it's like, I was thinking like, you know, in school where it's the pledge drive, like maybe something where where I'm like, I'm gonna try and make 10 hats for the unhoused, sorry, be politically correct, for the unhoused, and we will then donate it to charity, and you can, I don't know how pledges work. Can anybody explain? I feel like it's like, I used to be like, if I ran a mile, you would pay me $10 or you would pledge $10, and that's how we raise the money. So if it was something like that, and then we just then either send money to the unhoused and whatever is crocheted, something like that. Because one thing I was like, oh, I could do a toy drive or people could donate things to me, but my fear is that people will give me crap. It's like, you know, when people donate things to Goodwill and it's all from like Shine or whatever you call it, Shein or whatever, it's like things are not good quality anymore. And so it's like, okay, you could donate like whatever to me, but if it's crap, then I have to bring it to, you know, the place, and I'm like, this is crap. I don't want to do that, is what I'm saying. So I was like, it's got to be something very contained, very small, but maybe at this craft fair, or just in general, maybe we could do some kind of pledge where we all make like 10 hats and scarves for the unhoused. See, the problem is I like a little like alliteration, and there's no alliteration for unhoused. There is alliteration for homeless, but there's not alliteration for unhoused. Unscarving for unclothing for the unhoused? Listen, I'm gonna have to think about what I would call this even. Anyway, that's my thought for the day. Now, I will say that Heart of Yarn suggested that I start a new little part of the show called Dear Depressed Gay Uncle. So let's do that now. This is a new segment called, I don't have a song for this. Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, do you have an answer for me? If you don't have an answer for me, I'll be sad, don't you see? Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, can you answer my question? What rhymes with question? It's necessary, question. Aquarius, aquarium. Okay. Let's just answer these questions. Dear Depressed Gay Uncle. Okay, let's see if I have any. There were a few in the comment section. There weren't that many, but there were a few. And if you all have any new ones that you want me to answer, please, in the comments, put Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, and I will answer your question. Now, am I the person to be giving advice? That's for you to decide. I'm not, like, I think Abby was some kind of psychologist, or maybe not. Nobody has real credentials anymore. I don't have any credentials for this, so I'm gonna say, I am about to take a course, like my mom does leadership training for the government where you like help coach leaders or like people that train. And so I'm gonna take that course. So maybe my, suggestions will get better over time. But right now, I'm just some depressed homosexual. And if you want that type of advice, that's why it's Dear Depressed Gay Uncle. Okay, let's see if I see any. I thought I saw some. Are they not here? Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, I am looking for my newest show to binge. I'm bored with all the shows and I need something new to watch while I craft. Suggestions, please, and thanks. Listen, I don't watch TV anymore. I think I'm just really triggered because of television, because of everything that's happening. I watch Bob's Burgers consistently, like every single episode. And I actually was like, okay, what if I did this thing where when the first few seconds of the show starts, I guess what the episode's about? And that's my new game as I'm watching. I'm like, within the first minute, if I can figure out what it is. But listen, if you're looking for a new show, I did write for a show. It's on Disney or Hulu, depending on where you are. Disney Plus or Hulu. And it's called How to Die Alone. And it's a show that I wrote for. It stars Natasha Rothwell. And I'm like, you might as well watch my show if you've not watched it. I also was on Dickinson on Apple TV. I'm just promoting my own stuff because I actually don't know what's out there right now. But I was on the show Dickinson. It's on Apple Television. I show up on episode 3. So if you want to see me there, it's a 3-season binge. I think there are 10 episodes each season, something to watch. And you know what I'm really into, which sounds really cheesy? I really like Matlock. Are y'all watching Matlock? I mean, it's in between seasons, but the new season's probably going to be coming back pretty soon now that it's September. Kathy Bates is Matlock. There's twists and turns. It's like old style television, right? Like it's old style, like mysteries. It reminds me of like Murder, She Wrote a little bit. It's inconsequential television. You just turn it on and you're like, but you have to watch it, right? Like it's kind of a soap opera. You need to know what happened in the episodes before for you to be really pulled in. So that's my suggestion. I don't know if that's helpful. Once a year, I get Netflix for like a month or two, and I just pay and I binge everything. And so my plan is this fall or this Christmas, like maybe November 28th or something. I'm gonna get it because the new episode of Stranger Things is coming out. And listen, I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of Stranger Things, but I need to complete the journey. It has been a long journey. I just need to finish the series, right? So please, if anybody out there has any suggestions, put it in the comments. What's your favorite show to watch right now? And we shall help this person find new shows because I am not a television watcher right now. I'm just too triggered by it, right? It's like, it's just Hollywood broke my heart and I'm repairing. I'm trying to repair. Okay, I'm hearing beeping. Smoke detector? Are we working? They say it's every year, but it happens twice a year, I swear. Every time it happens, I'm like, didn't this happen in the spring? I think they do spring and fall, but they say once a year. They lie to me. They gaslight me. Okay. Any more? Shoo-ba-doo-doo. Dear depressed gay uncle, how do I handle a disrespectful neighbor? Oh boy, I just got triggered. A nice young couple moved in next door, 25 and 33, 8-year age gap. They just had a baby and they have a very sweet pit bull mix. We have watched their dog many times, sometimes overnight, especially when she had the baby or when they were all sick. But lately, they have been taking advantage of us, like asking us to watch the dog when they know my mom, who lives with us, has just had a chemo treatment, or not reimbursing us for dog food that I kindly bought for their dog when they were all sick. For clarification, my husband and I are almost 50, so is this just how the new generation acts? Do they just think they're entitled to whatever they want? How do I handle this situation? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. I have 2 parts to that. I have 2 parts to that. The first thing is I've learned to say no before I say yes. Like I say no before I say yes because I get into these situations too. I understand this situation so well. And it's been a long time since I've said yes before no. Or at least I asked the question before or what have you. Like I'm just like, I cannot be pulled into these situations anymore where I'm taken advantage of. And maybe that makes me a colder person, but it preserves my sense of peace. So my first suggestion is already too late, which is that get comfortable with saying no. And I get it. They're neighbors though. They're neighbors, and you don't want to have fights with your neighbors, right? You want to maintain the peace. But the boundaries thing is so important that I think people struggle with that. I struggled with that a long time because I always wanted to be the nice person. I was trained to be the good, nice person. But ultimately, you get into these situations where people take advantage of you. And it's like, you gotta in the first place say no. Now, my advice here is that I think as much as you need to become comfortable saying no before you say yes, or asking the question. Like if somebody's like, what are you doing this Thursday? And they don't tell you why, I hate those questions. I'm like, tell me why. I'm not gonna say that I'm available. I always say why. Why? What are you trying to get me into, right? Now, I think you're just gonna have to say the thing and be uncomfortable and know it's gonna be uncomfortable. If they're your neighbors, they seem to, like, I don't know how close you feel to these neighbors, but neighbors, like, they're not, they move. People move, right? Like, they're not gonna be in your life forever necessarily. So I think it's okay, like, if it's a relationship that's not that close, I think you could just be like, just say it. And know that they may react badly, but just start saying, like, we're not capable of doing this right now. We are unfortunately unable to really help you with the dog anymore because, my mother's sick, which I'm so sorry to hear. Like, I'm glad that you're there to take care of your mother, right? My mother's sick, like, and I'm not even trying to make excuses, but because these don't sound like excuses. They just sound like you are busy and you have a life and your life is not surrounded, like, it's not about them, right? And I get they have a kid, but that's your problem. Sorry, I'm not anti-child. Everybody have kids. Anti-child people get in so much trouble online. I'm not anti-child. I just think that's your decision that you had a child. I mean, nowadays we don't know with all of these rights being taken away, right? But that's your child, that's their child, that's their dog. And they have a dog. The dog was definitely their choice, right? Like, they didn't give birth to that dog. So the dog is their choice. The baby is their choice. Their lifestyle is their choice, right? So that's their responsibility and they're putting it on you. So I really think you just have to be okay to be uncomfortable, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, and it's an uncomfortable conversation. But if these people are not that close to you, just put it in a text. The next time they ask, just be like, listen, we don't have the capacity to really take care of your dog right now. Unfortunately, it's just a really hard time. And like, if it's really, you could even do a little bit of the middle. I'm a bitch, as we know. So I will do the wall. I am the wall, the cutoff, the scissors, done. You're done. We're not doing this anymore. We're done. This is a relationship that is done. Like, I'm that person. But you could do the thing where it's like, we can do it maybe like once a month if it's an emergency, but right now we just don't have the capacity. Did that help? Do you feel that helped? People in the comments, if you have advice about that too, put it in the comments. That's how I would deal with it. But I'm a little bit harsher because I was the person that always said yes. I was the person that always helped. And now I've learned to say no to an extreme. So I'm not suggesting that everybody has to do that. But for me, I think what it seems like is it's like the fear of the uncomfortable conversation. Let's get comfortable having those uncomfortable conversations because listen, we need to take care of ourselves because society has shown, especially after COVID, during COVID, that we don't have this societal contract that we thought we had where we all are neighbors and take care of each other. People don't care about each other, right? They're taking advantage of you. You want to be nice, but we don't have some kind of contract. There is no reward. No one mourns. No, that's not it. No good deed. I was like one of those Wicked songs. No good deed goes unpunished, right? Like, here's an example of it. So like, let's all be like a little bit selfish. Like, it's time to take care of ourselves and be a little bit selfish. Are there any more questions? Dear gay depressed uncle, how do I extend the Swiffer? Oh, my Swiffer's over there. Wait. Here's the thing I think I've realized is that some Swiffers don't extend to broom length. Is that correct? Is that what you're asking me? Like, is your Swiffer like really low to the ground? But my Swiffer has these metal parts, and when you connect them, they contract into each other. There's these little white kind of like divots, and you push the button into the divot, and then you push it down, and then you can pull it out very easily. But you might have a different Swiffer design. There are also Swiffers that are dusters. And some of them don't extend that far, and some of them do. So I think you do just have to make sure that you're purchasing the one that is extendable. Some don't. Okay. Dear gay uncle, why doesn't their stink affect them? Okay. This is about the deodorant. Please just keep me, okay. People need to wear deodorant because we do not need to smell them stink. It's disgusting. And dear gay uncle, why doesn't their stink affect them? That's a really good question, and I would love to know if there's like scientists out there. I think some people just don't smell themselves, and I think that we are finding out on TikTok that hygiene is a big issue. As people have I don't know if y'all are on TikTok, but there's this whole thing about like not washing your feet right now, and people just not showering, like maybe showering once a week, or like some people being like, you're not supposed to shower or wash your hair every day, which is true, but it depends on ethnicity or what type of hair you have. Like Asian people, you should wash your hair every day, Asian people. I don't know about everyone else, but Asian people, like our hair is like thick and greasy. So I don't know. And listen, when I released that video, the context is, if you're new here or whatever, the context is I made this video about wearing deodorant because this person came into a store and I actually left. So I didn't confront her. I didn't film her. I left. I left the situation because it was disruptive to me. It was disruptive to the people in the store because a lot of people were smelling that stench. And then in the comments, people were really mad at me. And so I ended up taking down the video. But a lot of people in the comments admitted to not wearing deodorant and screw other people. That was a lot of, and I can pull them up. I've archived it on Instagram. I can pull it up. All those comments are there. So I think it is not a question about not smelling. I think it's a question about personal choice and personal hygiene. And again, when we talk about the societal contract that we think we have, we don't have that. So I think people are just personally deciding because some TikTok said like, deodorant's bad or whatever, or like you only have to shower once a week or whatever it is. People are making that personal choice now, and that is really what my video was about making a choice that actually is disruptive to everyone. Even if you think it's about your personal health or whatever, there are other things that you can do. There's, showering more or like other scents. I'll take I'll take patchouli at this point, patchouli oil, over what I'm smelling. People are actively deciding not to be hygienic because of this whole like health, whatever you call it, granola crunchy health. Okay, I'm just getting myself into more trouble. I'm gonna have to delete this video because people are gonna yell at me, I'm sure. Okay, dear depressed gay uncle. How do you stop being a people pleaser? I am always crocheting stuff for people for free. I can't say no to friends and family. Oh, listen, I'm so lucky because, like I said, the same thing about the dog situation, I say no before I say yes. It took a long time, but I got comfortable being uncomfortable. And I got comfortable knowing, like, you have to know in yourself that you're right to say no. If somebody's like, crochet me a sweater and you don't want to do it, you know it's going to be uncomfortable. And I feel like people don't say no, or I didn't say no because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable, that uncomfortableness. But listen, we got to be uncomfortable. We got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So the no is the complete answer, or there's ways of just being like, it's really busy right now, or crochet is really hard. It just takes a lot of time, and people will be like, well, I'll pay you. Yeah, they'll never pay us enough though. For the amount of hours that we work on this, even if the yarn is $5 from the dollar store, we're putting so many hours into our crochet, they'll never pay us enough. So I think it's just like, but people think I'm complainy and petty and a bitch and all these things. I would rather hide behind that and know that I'm a good person and know that I do the actual definition of nice things, that I do the actual definition of good things. Because at the end of the day, I have to live with myself. I don't care. I do care, but I don't care what people think about me. Like, it hurts my feelings that people misinterpret me, but it doesn't change the fact that I will say no in a second. I think it's about becoming comfortable saying no. And however that is to you, if it's like a polite way of just being like, unfortunately, crochet just takes so long and is just really time consuming. I'm not opposed to lying. I mean, I am opposed to lying, actually. I just lied that I'm opposed to lying. I think there has to be some kind of truth to it. I try not to lie, but I try to say the thing like, my wrist is really hurting, which it always hurts. But my wrist is really hurting right now. Unfortunately, I can't crochet for you. But they don't need to know that your wrist always hurts. You know what I mean? Like, just practice an answer that you can live with, but that is a no. That's a definite no. Not an open door, not a, oh, maybe, let me think about it. No, it's like a closed door. And if you do actually have the time and decide you want to do it, it's a surprise. It's a gift, it's a surprise. But practice or think about a way of saying no that you're okay with. Okay. I'm not running out of time. I could go on forever, but there's two more Dear Depressed Gay Uncles. If y'all have a Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, please put it in the comments. This is a great segment. Thank you, Heart of Yarn, for suggesting this. Listen, we're crocheting, we're gabbing. I'm giving advice, unsolicited. Well, I'm solicited advice, but as a person that shouldn't be giving advice, I'm giving advice. Okay. Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, please don't put a filter on your mouth. Thank you. Remember when people could joke and debate and have healthy conversations? Instead, you're worried of cancel culture. You're just speaking what we feel. Geez, put deodorant on. It's effing offensive. Love you, my favorite gay uncle, Kevin. Thank you. Cancel culture is hard, and I've been a comedian for a long time, so I've been a part of the conversation, and in Hollywood since I was a child. This is a very different time, and it's like, I still want accountability. Accountability culture is nice, but cancel culture is hard, and especially with like that recent video, I was like really surprised. But like I said, I think that I've hit a different level where now I'm being criticized, and maybe that's a good thing. Like, maybe that means what I'm doing is working. I'm just trying to find the little bit of positivity there is, and I don't know why. We don't need to. Okay, last question, and then we're done. And then we're done for this episode. This has been fun. Please put in your questions. Dear Depressed Gay Uncle, how should I deal with a sister-in-law who talks confidently about things she knows nothing about and tries to give sage life advice? I can't tell her off. She is family, and like you, I am living in a place owned by my parents. I think it's... There's a theme to these questions, and I think for me, it's just being comfortable saying no and being the jerk. Like, I think it's what stops us. I think what stops us is the feeling that like we're going to disappoint somebody. But ultimately, when we don't do that, we hurt ourselves. I definitely have friends that try and give me advice, especially when in the depths of my depression, there was all this advice of like people that had never really dealt with this type of depression. And they were like, oh, just go for a walk. Just make sure you get your sun. Are you eating vegetables? And it's like, okay, or like, why don't you read that self-help book or whatever? And I was just, at a certain point, I was like, I get it though. I get it because I have close friends that I just listened to and I took it and then I just left. Sometimes I think to preserve, because this is a closer relationship, if it's family, is that sometimes you just have to take it a little bit, but also not let it get into your body. Like, not everyone's advice is going to be good. We know this, right? So it's like we can hear them and then play on our phone as they're spewing bull crap, right? And just don't let it envelop your body or take your peace or take a piece of your spirit, or simply walk away. Sometimes I do walk away, where I just go, I walk away. I'm walking away. Is that good advice? I think it is just like the theme of this for me, as I'm being triggered by these questions, which is fine. I'm not being triggered. I'm being brought back to those moments because I used to be a people pleaser. I used to not want that confrontation, but now I would rather just say the thing. And I find that most people respect the boundary once you put it or say that's a boundary. But people are aloof and they don't want to fully accept what you're saying, right? So clarity and being comfortable with being uncomfortable is my advice for this episode of this very long, the longest episode ever of Craft Club. Craft Club. We're all gonna craft at Kevin's Craft Club. You will craft and I will craft and we'll all craft because it's Craft Club, not a craft club, not a dance club. It's a craft club. Yeah, yeah, yeah.